And good morning to everybody. It is great. Towels are a premium in this hotel. So,
Yes, they are.
yeah, we had a little incident last night. Everybody's okay.
If we could tell that story on the air, we could tell that story, but it was
That was something we have never, ever encountered in our lives.
No.
We go to check in last night at this said hotel, and somebody comes down to ask for 8 towels.
Yes, they did.
They give him 6, and and they're all piled up. And he goes to walk away, and another gentleman says, "Wait a minute, how many people do you have in your room?" Person says, "I don't think that's necessary to tell you."
We said more than that.
He makes a comment back about, "Well, we don't have enough towels." Because the guy said, "I asked for 8, there's only 6 here." And the desk attendant said, "That's all we have." And that's when the other gentleman said something. And then all of a sudden it escalates into a shouting match and a chase for the towels.
It's like a police chase. It was.
This is no joke. It is real. And I'm sitting there wondering, trying to get checked in. Matt was
busy.
Watching the
busy. The line's busy. Hey, this is Peter Griffin. Can I get 6 more towels?
I've never seen. And then the man says, "I will call the police." And he goes something about, I don't feel comfortable with that statement. Get away from me. And you can hear the guy screaming. And he says, "Well, I'm going to call the police. You're stealing towels." "I'm not stealing." He handed it to me. So he runs behind the desk to call the police. I saw a
cop in the background. You better be careful.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking around to be safe because, see, I got my little towel. I didn't want to ask for a big towel. I just wanted to say, hey, I just need a small towel. I don't need any big towels. I don't want to cause no issue, and I don't want to get arrested. So shenanigans, craziness, this is what we have here in beautiful downtown Springfield.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there, and welcome to another installment of 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV, where we ask you to like, share, and subscribe and interact with us. He is the Coach Ed Young. Towellist today, I am Matthew Hatfield. A lot happening as we have returned from Springfield, Ed, in the world of sports, and I think it appropriately has to begin, as we say good morning to you, with what took place yesterday. And you know what took place yesterday, don't you?
Yesterday was yesterday? Friday.
Yesterday was Friday. That's correct. Juneteenth. Well, what happened in sports, sir?
The Americans get a win.
That's right.
And the Yankees beat the Reds.
Nobody cares about the Yankees.
Great things.
Nobody cares about the Yankees beating the Reds. Come on. That meant nothing. I
dare say if we were doing this show in New York, I would have about 8 million.
No, they're still worried about the Knicks party, and they're still celebrating that parade, which we'll get to later on in the program when time permits. But yes, Team USA, first time to win consecutive World Cup games since 1930. No, folks, Ed Young was not around to witness that, unfortunately. But it is the first time since 1930 that Team USA, which, by the way, Team USA is rocking and rolling, Edward, because now with their wins, and in both of these games they've won, the ugly 2-0 win over Austria, you want to call it that. It was kind of they had to show some spunk, some fight, scratch and claw. And then they handled Paraguay in style, which we watched last weekend in that infamous hotel where the towel incident happened at. Look, they have been pretty strong. They've gotten a couple of own goals to get things started off, but they've come out real strong. Now, they may get Bosnia, I'm hearing, in around the 32. Look, bottom line is, and it's a 48-team tournament now, not 32, but Team USA, anything less than, the quarterfinals, Sweet 16, get to the final 8, final 16 will be a disappointment. They've actually got a little soccer, little juice, little buzz in all the cities in the US of A.
Yeah, I would imagine it's being watched by a lot of people.
Of course. The restaurants and bars are full.
Well, that's not the only reason why the bars are full.
Well, they're watching the soccer. I mean, come on, don't hate on it.
No, I ain't gonna hate on it, but take the alcohol out of those bars, we'll see how full they are.
Oh, come on. There are alcoholless without watch parties all over the US of A. I bet our buddies at the Plex even got them. What are you talking about? Get your head out of your backside, coach.
I'd say the main reason people go to bars is to drink.
Morning, Woody.
Woody would agree with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, Norm Peterson did that in Cheers, no question. He had his little stool, and he went there and they'd say, "What's shaking, Mr. Peterson?" And they'd pour him another, and he had a tab, and he ran up the tab. It was a great show, by the way. Cheers, one of my favorites, by the way. It's still not the number one show of all time. That's my beloved Law and Order SVU with Mariska Hargitay, Olivia Benson celebrating the Knicks championship. She's been there all along. And by the way, she's going to get Jalen Brunson on that show. You can almost guarantee it now. I mean, they're huggy every chance they get, and along with Papa Rick Brunson. Maybe it'll make Rick the bad guy and Jalen the son will bail him out. Who knows? But anywho, yes, Woody, don't worry. You will get some pool man today. Don't worry. I know everybody's begging for it. It's warm outside, whether you're in the 757 or wherever you are in the country, in the US of A, as we rejoice in our soccer team's victory. We know, as the ticker showed moments ago, by the way, no Christian Pulisic. The injury didn't matter, though. They still got it done 2-0, no problem. But also, with Paraguay holding on 1-0, it means USA wins Group D. So way to go there. And here they have it. And yes, Julian, we're talking soccer. We should get you on talking soccer, Julian, our man from Nova Legends podcast. But I want to know real quickly, have you paid attention to any of the other World Cup soccer matches that have been non-USA? Or are you just fixated on the US team, Edward?
Pretty much the U.S. team, and I've got to admit, soccer don't float my boat, so I don't really. I mean, it's a gigantic event, World Cup, and it's in America. So
I like what you did there. Float the boat in the pool. You kept it in the water. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm not going out of my way to catch it. I'm more concerned about the Yankees winning games. That's where my
get off the Yankees. This is not a Yankee show. It's not a Yankee show. Very ugly American comment. Well, look, I think Team USA can get the job done in its next match. Although they're already in the pool. And by the way, the odds now, they've gone up a little bit. They're plus 3,300. France is the favorite. Now, you heard our man James Clark say Brazil. I'm kind of thinking Spain's got a real shot. They haven't looked great so far, but you got to embrace this. This is a great time of year. The basketball and the hockey champions have been crowned. And oh, by the way, College World Series, which will maybe get your pick a little later on. It's down to 2, North Carolina and Oklahoma in the final 2 of that, but. There is an issue for Team USA if you have been paying a little bit of attention, and that has been with the yellow cards. Now, they got a few guys with them, and, a second yellow card means the player gets suspended in the knockout stage. So if you're already moving on, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. Do they, police their guys, sit their guys? From a coaching standpoint, which you are a coach, the strategy now moving forward, since they're advancing, could be a little interesting to see how they handle it, because you don't want a guy having to sit because he gets the second yellow card, and now you got an issue on your hands.
Well, you definitely don't. You want your better players to be in the game, especially of this magnitude.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Thank you.
As a coach, but you can't do much more than tell them keep your head when you're out there, because you can pull them, but you pull them after they they've gotten the card. They're coming out anyways. I just think the whole idea is, and again, it's tremendous. The U.S. is winning. It's excitement. I would hope to see U.S. win it. Didn't even think in my wildest dreams they'd win this tournament. And I thought it was kind of interesting that the pool they're in was pretty easy.
Yes.
I even said they're going to win their pool. And now, but let's see what happens when they move on and have to play some of those teams that you had mentioned earlier down the line. And again, I'm not hating on U.S. I mean, I want to see them win it all. And it's tremendous that the World Cup is in our country, but I'm just personally not a big fan of soccer in itself, but I am a major, major fan of anything the USA plays in.
So will you, before our jaunt to Richmond and the Henrico Sports Center for the East Coast Live next week, which, by the way, will feature 140 teams after we saw 89 in action at the St. James facility, will you sit down in front of the telly, or will you frequent an establishment, you can't say which? Oh, and now look at it. You get to see about Cam Schlittler, your buddy. I got to say his last name very carefully, or I'll get FCC. I'll get slapped fined here on the ticker there. But back to the soccer for a second, because we don't want this to be a Yankee show. Not now. At least until October, if they do make it to the Fall Classic. Heaven forbid that happen. I'll be a miserable, you know what, especially if it's them and the evil empire from the West, who broke the hearts of all Orioles fans all over the nation, including our buddy A.J. Risser. They had a 5-3 lead, and your boy Helsley, the guy who was with the Cardinals and the Mets last year, just gagged like a dog and spit the bit. But anyhow, as I get distracted by baseball, will you be in front of the tube to watch USA, Turkey, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California, 10 o'clock Eastern Thursday night? You're going to say, no, it's a little past my bedtime. I got to get some rest, got to get some shut-eye. Will you watch it? Now, it is Group D. Listen, it's not the elimination situation. But will you be tuned in for that game on Thursday night? I know it also goes Oppo Law and Order SVU, but I will tell you it's not a new episode. It's a rerun, so you don't have to worry about that. It's already been an episode that's aired, so you don't worry about Law and Order SVU. Head to head, you'll be okay.
The last time I worried about law and SUV orders was the 12th of Never.
Don't knock my show. Do not knock my show.
I don't have to knock your show. It's like 95th on the list. I saw the Honeymooners over top of it, Sanford and Son, Seinfeld, King of Queens is over it, Bugs Bunny, even the Dastardly cartoon is over it. So
you do realize, as you unintentionally but intentionally knock it, you do realize that it draws around 3.5 to 4.5 million per live broadcast.
Well, there's a good amount. There's even more nut jobs than that in the country that would be watching that. So that doesn't impress me.
What's wrong with you?
But getting back to your question, as far as watching the U.S. against Turkey on Thursday night, there's probably a better chance of me watching myself eat some turkey Thursday night.
What?
But I would.
Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, cranky? Something? You're not getting enough rest. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. It's funny you said that. The last 2 nights I have not been able to get good rest. Sinus congestion.
Dog been barking yet? Oh, it's sinus. You got sinus issue. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't get the rest of the sinus happens. I guess no air in the house or something. Somebody told me to get a humidifier.
That would help you.
Make the air moist so you can breathe better. So I got to work on that today. But anyways, yes, it sounds good. Thursday night, turkey sandwich while I watch the U.S. beat Turkey 2-1 overtime.
It was 2-0 at halftime yesterday. There was no more scoring after that. Got a little chippy, though. But here they are. And looking strong. I like what I'm seeing. Before we do take a break, we have a lot to digest. As you brought turkey, made me think about digesting and discuss on this particular episode. You'll see a couple of interviews from, 7-on-7 football as we're getting closer to the start of football, as well as an interview with a young man that we saw compete in the VA Live event last week. And we'll touch on some recruiting because there was a monster recruiting story that happened this past week in the 804, actually, not so much in the 757, but in Virginia. And it has to do with a big boy program, shelling out some big-time dough. And we've got a couple of guests that will join us live on the program. 10:30 a.m. Eastern, we are scheduled to be joined by Shaun Todd. He is the head baseball coach of the state champion Great Bridge Wildcats. You see them come from behind last Saturday, Ed, 11-5 to beat Glen Allen, what a win it was for Coach Todd and his team as they got their first state title as a program at Chesapeake School since 2011. A key member on that team, by the way, is Michael Kadyr's son, Casey. Michael Kadyr, we talked about it last week briefly, the All-Tidewater Baseball Classic that took place at Harbor Park. If you're wondering how that went, by the way, a 3-3 draw between the South Side and the Peninsula/private school team over there at Harbor Park. But Michael Kadyr's son, Casey, is going to play at UNC. So how about that? He could join the national champs should the Heels take down Oklahoma, the Sooners. And coming up at 11:05 Eastern, JJ, our man James Johnson. Yeah, I said not JJ Walker, Dynamite, but this guy's Dynamite. He's the new head basketball coach at Ferrum, which is now Division II. They've made the transition from Division III. And he used to be the head Hokie, and he also had a title on the side of things when it came to football recruiting. He stepped away from coaching basketball. He played at Ferrum, 3-year starter there, then got into coaching in the mid-90s at Longwood, Hargrave Military Academy, Old Dominion, Elon, College of Charleston, Penn State, George Mason, Virginia Tech, a lot of different stops as an assistant, then 2 years as the head coach of the Hokies, then coached in the ACC at Miami and NC State as an assistant and became the director of high school relations on the football side of things for a couple of years, and now back on the basketball side coaching. So I'm sure Ed will be picking his brain and peppering him with some hard-hitting questions on what got him to dabble into football and brought him to return to basketball, where he's going to coach at his alma mater. So that's all on the way this morning. Any final quick thoughts before we do head to break here, sir? And by the way, we'll be playing a little Fact or Fiction NBA draft related. It's not like the Father's Day, and it is Father's Day weekend, so we wish all the pops and dads out there, dads and granddads, and those that are like father figures out there, all the best this weekend. Usually you play my pops, Mike Hatfield, but he's still steaming right now. We have taken the broken glass out of the house, but he's a little upset still about his Spurs. So we're going to give him some time before he does return to the show. I don't want him to say or do anything that will get him or us or anybody in trouble. So we'll just let him continue to decompress. I know he's looking for Tony Brothers, but we're going to make sure we keep him away from Tony Brothers. It's not Tony Brothers' fault that the Spurs lost, by the way. He's mad at all the referees. So anyhow, anything else on your mind before we go to break? Are you pretty mindless at this point?
I am mindless right now.
Okay.
Still getting over Talgate at the hotel. People saw when you on the intro to the show.
Like that.
I've had a couple of people text me, because we joke a lot, they thought we made this up.
No,
it was not made up.
This was real. And if you heard the additional part of the story that we left out, which was you cannot tell it. I know you want to. You cannot tell it on the air. The elevator story with Ed, that would be the icing on the cake, or the topper, as they say. But don't tell it, please don't. We want to stay. We don't want to get in trouble.
That was I did let the people know that, and one of them was speechless.
Yeah. You have to find Ed off the air to get that story.
You really said that? I said it on the air because they were not going to do that mess with me in the elevator. So, yeah, it was, and I want to be respectful to the.
Please be respectful. You've already dissed all the soccer fans out there this morning with your remarks. No,
I did. I just simply said I want to see the United States win it all, but they won't.
It was kind of a diss. It's kind of a diss. Good start. Good start. All right, we will take a timeout. We've got more on the way here. It is 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching with us on Kova Sports TV. Now this from those who help make it possible. Back in a jiffy.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better. And it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
All right, here with a couple of dynamic playmakers for the Salem Sun Devils. We got 2027 wide receiver safety Caden Drenning and 2028 running back Jason Hard Jr. as the Sun Devils have their sights set on a big year. Let me start with you, KD. I know you got an official visit coming up with Toledo. You've had 13-plus offers. I know Jay using a picture of a bunch of schools. How's it feel? You're getting ready for your senior campaign and recruiting's taking shape for you.
It feels good. Yes, sir. Finally getting notice and recognition.
Sure. And this guy next to you, Jason, you've gotten some attention too. I know you just came back from Florida. You got a visit coming up with Rutgers. How's it feel, the excitement? I know you got another year to come in addition to this one coming up as a junior, but you're starting to see a lot of schools show some attention and interest in you as well.
It's good to be able to contact coaches, build relationships. Mm-hmm. It's good to build up. Good way to start.
I'm going to get you guys to talk about each other, not so much your own games. What makes KD one of the best playmakers in the beach in the 757?
You can always rely on him.
Okay.
Throw it up, give it to him. He can make a play every time.
Sure. All right, Katie, what makes Jason one of the best running backs around, taking it to the distance?
Fastest person in the area,
okay.
No matter what. You don't go down, and he always knows what he's doing on the field, no matter what.
Okay, you said fastest person, so you told me he beat you in a race? Is that what you're saying?
Second fastest person.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right, Jason, your rebuttal, though. Talk about last season. You guys got to the playoffs, second-round exit, but I know it feels like with certainly landing back healthy at quarterback, it feels like this team's coming for some big things this year. What would you say that the goals are, and how do you go about accomplishing this year?
My goal for this year is for the offense to run better and smoothly. You know, it was hard to run with less guys, but with more people, good connection, we'd be able to power through any team.
Sure. Katie, what did you learn from last year that you can apply to your own game and help your team get better? What was the learning experience from last year? How did it help shape you, if you will?
Just learn how to come over adversity because, losing our starter quarterback, that takes away a lot of options for offense. So just being able to go without a leader will come over adversity.
Awesome. Come on for you guys. Let's talk more about recruiting. I know you got the visit coming up with Toledo. What are you looking for in the school? What are the things that matter? And you're going to be more offense or defense? Because you've put up some good numbers, 13 grabs, 295, 3 scores, 74 tackles, 4 picks last year. What do you feel like your best spot is?
I'm cool with whatever.
Okay.
I'm mainly getting recruited for defense, but I love offense too.
Okay.
Yeah, but for a school, just showing love for me. And it's not too much. Just see wherever I can fit best in the program.
You know, when you were to decide before your season coming up, could it be on a visit wherever, whether it be this one or beyond? Do you have an idea when your timetable is, or?
I don't know.
No
yet.
idea?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. All right, Jason, let me ask you about your game. What do you want to show people different about your game? Last year was kind of your breakout year. What's kind of the next step in your growth as a player?
This one, I want to add more on my film of me catching the ball. I missed a lot of that. Also, me blocking. To know I can be, a triple threat. I can do all 3 things: block, run, and catch the ball.
Okay, last two for you guys. Madden video game. Who's your go-to player? Who's your team for each of you guys?
I don't really play Madden.
You don't play video game? Really?
I play
NCAA?
video, but not Madden.
You play NCAA football?
I played 25, but that was it.
Okay, do you have a team?
Nah.
No team? How about you, Katie?
For Madden or NCAA?
Either one.
I mainly play NCAA. I like, depending on the game, I go Ohio State just for Caleb Downs.
Okay.
And Jeremiah Smith.
Awesome. And lastly, I know he can't tackle you. He was a heck of a player back in his day, Coach Hall. But who does the best imitation of Coach Hall on the Salem football team? Go ahead. Out whoever it is. Is it one of you guys or somebody else?
Best imitation.
Yeah, who imitates him the best? Yeah.
Let me look over there.
Look over there. Who you got? He's thinking, folks.
David Johns.
All right, there you go.
Yes, sir.
You go with him too? All right.
Yeah.
Jason Hard Jr., Caden Drenning, thanks so much, guys. All the best.
Sir.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you heard from a couple of Salem Sun Devils, Ed, Jason Harden Jr. You saw it on the screen, over 1,100 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns, as well as Caden Drenning, who had 74 tackles, 4 INTs, 12 pass breakups, and, of course, caught the ball 13 times for 295 and 3 TDs, despite the injury at quarterback, but Landon Curls is now healthy. A couple of guys to watch out for in Virginia Beach: Drenning from the class of 2027 and Harden from the class of 2028. He just added an offer from Rutgers on his visit. But back here on 757 Sports Talk, we talk some recruiting because the number 1 rated player in Virginia in the class of 2027 is off the board. The 6'4", 240-pound edge rusher from Lloyd C. Bird High School in Chesterfield. That's L.C. Bird. Have you heard? Bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. About the bird, bird, bird. Do you know about the bird? Everybody's talking about the bird is the word. Chris Whitehead is the word. He chose LSU and Lane Kiffin over Virginia Tech's Hokies, South Carolina's Gamecocks with a Beamer coach, and not Frank, but his son Shane, and the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio State University. It's interesting. We were talking with Greg Aiken up there at LC Bird AD at VA Live, and it's interesting. We knew that his decision was going to come. We didn't think it was going to come this soon, but you and I both sat there and thought Ohio State would be the highest bidder. Option. I said better. My bad. Would be the number 1 choice here. It ended up being LSU where he's going to go. But he's a freak. He's a heck of a player. He's been a stud for a couple of years now, and number 1 guy in the state, LSU and Lane Kiffin. And guess what? Not only did they get Chris Whitehead, you know who else they got? I'm waiting for you to say who else. You're just sitting there.
Trying to think.
You're trying to think in amazement. I thought you just asked me who instead of you trying to think. But you can guess.
Who else did they get?
They got another Whitehead, Isaiah Whitehead. You know who that is? That's his 6'5", 325-pound little brother who plays on the offensive line for Bird. He's given an early pledge in the class of 2028 to play his college football for the LSU Tigers. So they didn't get just one Whitehead, Ed. They got 2 Whiteheads. They got Chris, the number 1 player in the state of Virginia, according to Rivals and all the various outlets. And they got little brother, but I got to stop calling him little brother because he's not so tiny, as you will see on the screen here in a second. There's Chris. You see, he's got, I wouldn't say it's a slender build, but you see he's athletic, good frame. Here's Isaiah, even bigger. Your thoughts as LSU, the guys from the Bayou and Lane Kiffin have invaded VA, and I get the sneaky suspicion they may not be done invading the Commonwealth. They beat out Ohio State, the Ohio State.
Well,
not 1, but 2 big-time players who are related.
Well, if we go back to our conversation that we had with the AD, Greg Aiken from Bird at VA Live, we did say when we heard the list, it would be in terms of where to go for prestige and play is Ohio State.
Right.
But I quickly said, since LSU is involved, and if he's a main guy for them, it's a done deal. It'll be LSU because money. Right now,
You did say that.
SEC and in particular LSU, nobody can touch them in terms of money given. And it's not like it was back in the day for the most part. I'm going to go somewhere where it's prestigious at my position and get a chance to get drafted. It's 99% money. Who's going to give me the most money? So I got to believe that the Whiteheads were offered more money than anybody else. And we can say this legally, that than anybody else presented to them. And LSU is not a bad program. They're a very good football program.
LC Bird and Richmond, Woody.
Yes,
LC Bird, who, by the way, in the same region 6A for right now, as defending state champ Oscar Smith, two-time state champ Oscar Smith, who, by the way, lost a player. We just played his interview a few weeks ago. Remember Lincoln Holiday, the big defensive lineman we played the interview? He departed for IMG Academy this week. Gone. Poof. Talk about a monster loss for Oscar Smith. That's a monster loss for Oscar Smith. But also in that region are Manchester, Thomasdale, and, of course, a team on the rise. Watch out for Lansdowne with that young quarterback, Anthony Turner, class of 2028, who's getting offered every couple of days by big schools here and there. He's got offered by North Carolina this week. They could be, under Robert Jackson's direction, a much improved threat in that region. Oscar Smith's still a team to beat, but LC Bird with those two monster guys in the trenches. And remember, a few years ago, LC Bird lost in the state semifinals. They were in the state playoffs, I believe. Oh, gosh, help me. It wasn't – they lost not to Stonebridge. I think it was Briarwoods beat them the year that Morey beat Briarwoods. So they're just a couple years removed when Whitehead was a sophomore from getting to the state semis and winning a region title. That was when they were in Class 5. But it is 99% money, like you just said, and what he posted. But I would caution LSU has a pretty good reputation of sending guys to the league. Like him or not, Lane Kiffin is revered in football coaching circles. He just doesn't stay places long, and he does wear out his welcome at times, and he does do some things that are – he could be described somewhat eccentric, somewhat a little bit out there. But I'm not shocked that he picked LSU, although the timing of it surprises me because I thought the pendulum was kind of swinging towards Ohio State, and boom, they get not one Whitehead, but two. That's the stump me. They didn't just get him, they got little brother. And again, I keep saying little brother, but they got his younger brother to also give a commitment. Now, will these kids stay with their commitments? Will they sign? That's something that you wonder about in this day and age. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. LSU coming into Virginia and getting a couple of big players. They have not got, they don't have the history of, say, like your Florida State or your Florida or your Ohio State, your Michigan, say, or Penn States of getting players from VA, be it 757, 804, you name it. So that one was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I still think Ohio State would have been a better choice. But then again, if you got a great shot to play immediately, LSU is a great place to play too because national championship, SEC, all eyes are on you. Every game is big. So it's I don't fault the kids. As much as I want to say you got to look at more than money, that's not how it is anymore. And you have to understand it's a different time. And kids and family are looking strictly at the money. They don't ask about my major. Is there a good tutoring program if I slip in my grades? Because that's not their main reason for going to school anymore. And it's not my opinion. That's widely told by many people at college level, pro level, whatever. It's just the difference in today's recruiting game.
Yeah, it is different. By the way, the rivals comp is Clelin Ferrell. He of Clemson fame, and your Las Vegas Raiders took him in the first round, 4th overall, if you remember back in 2019. And he also hailed from the 804 in the Richmond area at Benedictine. So there's a little comp that makes some sense there. And he was quoted as saying, Chris, on his choice, just different. It is just different LSU, and the money was just different too. Stick around. We've got more coming your way here on 757 Sports. So we wish him all the best. Looking forward to seeing what he does this year. We might get that matchup of Burt Oscar Smith in the States, or not even States, be the regional final, regional semis. You never know. That could be fun come deep into November. But right now it's June, and we're getting you ready for summer. Oh, we got some pool shenanigans on the way, I'm sure, too. You're watching on Kova Sports TV. Now this from those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
I'm here with George Marshall, 6'5", rising senior forward, Trey Leonardo of the Statesmen of George Marshall, coming off a trip to the state quarters last year. They're participating here in the Virginia Live VHSL event at the St. James in Springfield. Trey, you guys played a couple of Tidewater teams that have a lot of talent. Oscar Smith, Kings Fork, you blew out one, you lost a close one another. What's this experience like for you and your teammates here to see some of the best teams on the stage as you prepare for your senior campaign?
Yeah, I mean, right now, you know, what you wanted to have out of the offseason is get better, obviously. And by playing these, like, top teams in Virginia, you're obviously going to get that. Definitely, we want to get more experience with these teams because, you know, our district is going to be pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think playing these tough teams this year is just preparing us for our district games and our regional games, and, you know, the state's going to be good. So it's definitely a good experience so far this offseason.
Certainly you're getting more attention, as are some of your teammates in general. I know you and Jackson Frazier are drawing attention from the college coaches watching here today, making first team All-State. How do you kind of sum up your junior season? You guys got to the state playoffs. You took the eventual champions, Westfield, to the wire in the region championship game, lost in the state quarterfinals. Was it a good year, one of those years where you're happy but not satisfied? How do you kind of sum it up in your own game?
Yeah, I mean, going into the year this past season, we didn't really expect to make it to the state finals, and I think we definitely exceeded expectations for us and, you know, everybody else. Once we got there, I feel like falling short is definitely tough. I feel like we could have won that game. It was a low-scoring game, very defensive-heavy game. But we definitely didn't expect to get to states, but definitely getting there shows like what kind of team we are, and especially for next season, like now we know that we can get there. that's going to be the goal, and I think we can get there.
Well, I'm hearing a lot of the whispers from some of the fans and coaches watching. Like, man, those boys from Marshall can ball, and they have great chemistry on the court. How much is that just a testament and a credit to your chemistry and also the coaching with Coach Lynn and what you guys do? And I know you have the chemistry from playing in travel ball with Nova Cavs, right?
Yeah, definitely a lot of these guys I played with for a while. I think a big part of our success is chemistry, and then also the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've talked to multiple other high school coaches and other players, and the first thing they say to us is like, you guys have great coaches, you guys have a great system. So it definitely helps.
For you, kind of break down your game. What are the things that you feel you do best on the court, and what are you trying to get better at as you get ready for this year and then beyond that in the college level?
Yeah, I feel like I try to do a little bit of everything. I'm not like a one-trick pony. I try to do multiple things on defense and also offense. I think, this past season I got a lot better at rebounding the ball because our center graduated. I was the tallest player on the team. And I feel like to get better, to add to my game, I feel like I want to shoot more around the perimeter and get that part of my game, be more confident with that. And then also this past game, I was asked to handle the ball more. So that's also something I need to work on, definitely ball handling.
I have attention from some of the schools. Who are some programs that are giving some interest for you? A lot of the schools in state and out of state?
Yeah, a lot of Virginia schools, some Pennsylvania school like Dickinson, UMW, CNU. Just it's a good experience. Talking to them, it's awesome.
Sure. And I think levels don't matter because you see a lot of even Division II, Division III programs from our state and nearby that make these big runs in tournaments. What are you looking for in a college home? What are the things that are going to matter to you? What appeals to you as you go through this process?
For me, it's just like the best fit. I'm very excited for that. I think, I want to be on the East Coast, and it's definitely going to be fun. I'm definitely excited for college basketball, yeah.
Sure, all right, some fun ones here. It is the summertime. You can visit one place in the world. Where are you going?
For college?
No, just one place to visit. It could be not for college.
One place to visit, probably California, LA.
All right.
Yeah, at least sunshine.
NBA player that you like watching the most?
I'm a Cavs fan, so I like Donovan Mitchell a lot.
Oh, you're a Mitchell. So it's heartbreaking for you what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. Nobody's going to watch this. Who's the biggest prankster or jokester on your team?
Biggest prankster or jokester?
Yeah. I think you probably got one or two, right?
I don't know. I'll go with a kid named Jonas Road.
Okay, so he's the drink. Okay, two more for you. What's your go-to late night snack or candy?
Ice cream. Late night ice cream. Yeah.
All right, good deal. And lastly, if you could trade places with one person in the world, who are you picking?
It's a tough question. I'll go LeBron James.
LeBron, he's got a lot of money, a lot of fame, and probably have a lot of fun. That's Trey Leonardo. Hopes to have fun his senior year and beyond with the Statesman George Marshall. Thanks so much for continuing progress. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, all you crazy cats and kids. We're back with joke time. What has more letters than the alphabet? A post office.
Back here on 757 Sports Talk, much to Woody's delight and Ed's dismay, I am Matthew Hatfield. He is the coach, Ed Young. And before we take another break and bring in a special guest of the state champion Great Bridge Wildcats, that being Shaun Todd, we're going to play a little fact or fiction NBA draft style. You ready to do that, Edward? We haven't done fact or fiction this way. We've done some trivia fact or fiction with you and various guests, but you ready to play this version of fact or fiction?
And it's all on the draft, past drafts.
I mean, we won't have an answer till, days, weeks, whatever. But yeah, draft coming up on Tuesday night. Ready to do that? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Draft.
I was looking at this with the draft coming up. I think about this all the time with baseball draft, basketball draft, football draft. Some of the top 5 players from the 757 to get picked in drafts. I go back to 1985 in pro football. Bruce Smith was selected number 1 overall. I go to 1992 in pro basketball. Alonzo Mourning from Indian River High School. Of course, Bruce from Booker T. Washington High School, Norfolk, was 2nd overall. Then you had a run of guys going 1 or 2 almost every year. It felt like in one of the 3 big sports. Joe Smith from Maury was 1st overall by the Warriors in 95. Dave Twartz, by the way, ODU great, was part of that front office that picked him. Allen Iverson, he of Bethel High School in 1996. Georgetown Hoya, number 1 of the Sixers, went on to win MVP. And then we go back to pro football. 2001, Michael Vick, 1st overall by the Atlanta Falcons. He had a heck of a career, now the coach of Norfolk State. I also look at baseball, 2002, B.J. Upton, 2nd overall. 2004, though he's not a 7'5" guy from high school, Goochland High School, Old Dominion great Justin Verlander, who we've got some news on our ticker here about him with his injury status. But ODU great, second overall in 04. In the draft in 2005, Justin Upton, first overall. Ryan Zimmerman, Virginia Beach great. Kellam High School, fourth overall. So we've had just right there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in a span of 40 years in basketball, baseball, football go top 5 in the drafts. Isn't that amazing?
Pretty doggone good for our area that's not considered a big metropolis area like in New York City, Chicago, Detroit, LA. That's pretty decent. And all of those guys you mentioned, all of them had pretty decent careers.
None of them were a flop. I mean, some might have had higher expectations. They thought that it might be an MVP level guy for, say, a Joe Smith or B.J. Upton, but they had very respectable, commendable careers. I mean, obviously, Iverson was MVP, Bruce the all-time sack leader, Verlander. I mean, all these guys did really well for themselves. None of them was like a flop like there will be some in this upcoming basketball draft. But we'll start with the defending champions, the New York Knicks. They had the big parade. They were all excited about it. Yeah. And by the way, look at the number of people in the parade as we show it to you on the screen here. 2 million. It's like the third biggest parade since like the 98 Yankees, and I forget the other one. But anyhow, I want to know what you think. Big East front court player, Mitchell Robinson may not be back. You're going to say this is fact or fiction that they will take one with either their first-round pick or their second-round pick, and they pick early in the second round. Fact or fiction?
I would have no earthly idea. I didn't even see the list yet who's out there that they would have a possibility of picking from the Big East.
There's 2. That's why you're going to be wrong on this. You haven't done your homework.
Yeah,
I've
not looked at the draft list at all in terms of who's out there and what they need. You're right; they may lose Robinson. The other 2 free agents, I think they're definitely going to lose without question. Both guards. So I'm going to say, just a wild guess, no.
Okay. Well, that's why Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports, which we effort getting on, by the way, haven't heard back from Kevin, but I think his mock draft has Richie Saunders going in one of those slots, but 2 guys to consider. I don't think Zuby Ejiofor of St. John's is a fit, but I do think they will take late in that first round or early in that second round, Tarish Reed of UConn. I think he's going to go, and I'm going to say this is a fact, and there's a couple other Big East guys that could be in the mix, so I'm going to go with this as a fact. If they wait till late second round, name to keep an eye on for a big that would fit them, Ed. We saw him at the PIT. We broadcasted it. Felix Akpara, the big 6'11" that runs the floor from Tennessee, blocks shots, can be a rim protector, a lob threat. He's a guy that could be in their forecast. Second one, fact or fiction, Utah Jazz. Once upon a time, my team, when Malone and Stockton played there. They'll take Carlos Boozer's son, Cameron, over either A.J. DeBonsa or Darren Peterson at number 2 overall. Now, Boozer could go 1, but most mocks have DeBonsa. A couple out there, including I think Jeremy Wu, has Peterson going first, the Kansas stud, DeBonsa from BYU. But are you going to say that leaves the Jazz to stay with the homegrown guy? No, by the way, Carlos is still a part of the Jazz organization, front office, the brass there. Will they opt to take Cam over DeBonsa or Peterson? Because if he's on the board, there's a lot of people think it could happen. What do you think? Fact or fiction?
I'm wondering if the Wizards are crazy enough to take Boozer first. Everybody says they're taking Peterson. A few say they're taking DeBontis. I can see.
I think most say DeBonsa, some say Peterson, but go ahead.
I can see the Jazz taking Boozer. It's a safer pick. And I think I'm not sure he's going to have a great NBA career, but I think he'll have a better NBA career than those 2 guys will.
I agree. I think they're going to get talked into it. I think Carlos, the whole situation there, I feel like that's going to be in their future here. I believe it's really going to happen, and I think they're probably thinking more front court help. And by the way, he's not a center, but Walker Kessler, restricted free agent. Well, he's going to be back for Utah, so we'll see. Our third one in fact or fiction. The Minnesota Timberwolves will trade for or draft a point guard next week. They were close to reaching the conference finals. That was in the West, OKC And San Antonio, there's been some whispers. I don't know, they're going to be in the market for Trae Young, who's probably going to either go back to the Wizards, he declined money, or go to Brooklyn perhaps. But they're going to draft a point guard or they'll trade for one. Gives you an option. Fact or fiction? I've said 2 facts. I'll go with a third fact. I think they got to get a point guard because Mike Conley is not getting any younger, and they want to surround Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels with another ball handler. So I will say it is a fact.
So let me ask you, let's go deeper into this. Will they trade for one or will they draft one? You're saying they're definitely taking a point guard.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, are they going to draft one or will they probably try to trade for
Well, my intel tells me that they're really high on Okori from Stanford, who was one of the ACC's better guards, so the ACC was weaker. And I think Okori tore it up. And I'm not sure that's a great idea for them, but I think they're going to get their first-round pick swayed into taking a point guard. Not a big, not a forward, not a wing. So I'm going to say they draft one. They could trade for one, but I think the trade market's going to be tricky until all the dominoes fall into place with what's going to go on with Giannis. That's kind of everybody's waiting to see what happens there. So, and then maybe if the Lakers do a sign and trade with Austin Reeves, but I'll say they'll draft one. You, sir, make your pick.
I'd say definitely they're going to get a point guard. But my comment to myself too was, will they trade for one? Because, point guard being this important position, probably right after quarterback from a football team, to get somebody, or they are a young team somewhat already, will they just go in the draft and get somebody? I'm not as high on the kid from Stanford as many other ones are.
Nor am I. And your better point guards, by the way, you got to move up to go get one of those Darius A. Cuffs, one of those guys. I don't think they'll do that.
Right. And again, with Giannis, a lot of people saying he will be traded either before or during the draft. But how is that going to affect? He's not going to Minnesota.
So you going fiction or fact on your pick? What are you going with?
I'm going to go fact that they're going to get a point guard.
Okay. 2 more. We make these quick before we go to break and bring in Shaun Todd of the Great Bridge Wildcats state champions. Spurs will trade up from 20th overall in the upcoming draft. Let you go first. Is this a fact or is this fiction? San Antonio, will they make a move? Obviously, they're talking about getting that enforcer guy to help out Wemby after they lost in 5 to the Knicks in the finals. They have a lot of young talent in the backcourt with Harper and with Castle. Fox probably going to be back. Keldon Johnson, of course, from Boo Williams' program. AAU, stud from Virginia that set the state freshman scoring record many years back at Parkview and South Hill. Fact or fiction, they'll make a trade?
No, they're not going to make a trade to move up to get the enforcer. They'll get an enforcer. They'll get a veteran enforcer. They're not going to get a young enforcer. Okay. No, fiction.
I actually agree with you, but I do think they're going to have their eyes on Merez Johnson from Michigan. I don't think they'll be able to move up high enough to get him in part with one of their key components, but I think they'll want to. Not sure they'll get the right deal to make it happen. Deals are going to be hard to make, I think, trades. And our last one, fact or fiction, you go, or I'll go first for this one. Michigan will have 3 players taken in the top 15 of the draft. I think our man who's coming up next, Shaun Todd's giving me a thumbs up. He might be a Michigan guy, a Michigan man. But I'm going to go, yes. I think Mara gets picked. I think Yaxel Lindeborg gets picked. And I think Merez Johnson gets picked. Now, I loved Yaxel in college. I have some concerns on how he's going to translate to the pro game. I think he was just a wonderful player and did a ton for them coming from UAB. Mara's interesting, but I think somebody will. I think you got a couple teams there looking at the Bulls in the mix, maybe. I think they're gonna the Hornets. I think all 3. I'm gonna go fact. That's a tricky one, but we heard about this. Michigan didn't have a lot of great pros, but they got 3 probably gonna go in the top 15 or 20. I'll say fact. You're gonna say one of those guys slides out?
I'm gonna say fact, but I think 2 for sure. I don't know about 3. The third one might go.
Who's the one? Mara, Merez, or Yaxel? Are you on the fence about? Who are you on the fence about?
The big boy's going early.
Okay, I think he'll be the first of 3. I agree. So he'll probably go maybe top 10 and be at like 9. So who's the one you're on the fence about? Yaxel or Merez?
I'm gonna say Axel.
Okay. There you have it. That wraps up fact or fiction. NBA draft coming up on Tuesday for round 1 and Wednesday for round 2. Next up on the show for a quick timeout, we got Shaun Todd to salute the state champion Great Bridge Wildcats who got it done last weekend over Glen Allen. And they're watching where, Edward?
Right here on Kova Sports TV. And we're going to ask you to like it, Share it and please subscribe it. We'll get you some time.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Lloyd's, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach, Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe. We have a special guest with us. Eddie is the head coach of the state champion Great Bridge Wildcats. What a job they did last week, coming from behind to beat the Jaguars of Glen Allen 11-5, 22-5, I believe was the final overall record. First state title since 2011. They also won one back in 2003. And what a tough road they had to get through to get there. We say hello and congrats to Coach Shaun Todd. Coach, it's got to be a sense of relief, but excitement and jubilation for your guys to get it done in one of the hardest brackets you can have in Class 5 baseball, huh?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you guys for having me on. But, yeah, all of those things are true. Unbelievable gauntlet to go through here just locally. And then, when you get up north, again, you got to ramp it up again. So we were extremely fortunate, but we had a plethora of tremendous guys and talent. So they stuck to it and did their job.
Absolutely. Before we even get to Ed's question and my questions for you, we already got one from one of the viewers out there that are watching on YouTube and all the different social platforms. What did Shaun Todd tell his players after down 4-0 in the second inning? What did you say? Because at that point it could be slipping away, but whatever you said or somebody said must have got it turned around. How'd you turn it around? Because championship game, it's win or go home, but you guys had the magic from there.
The thing I just reiterated to them is we got a bunch of quality guys here, and just keep taking quality at bats. We knew we had a pretty good arm on the mound that was going to keep us in it and throw strikes and battle. But it probably was nothing I said. It was probably what they said to each other, which they've been doing all year, especially in some tougher games that we've had. So it's a credit to them. Whatever I said, hopefully they heard it. But again, I hope more it was what they said to each other.
Sure. When you go through a road like this of 25, 26, 27 games, whatever it is, and you have the ups and downs, the Southeastern District prepares you for this, seeing the Western branches, the grass fields, the Hickories, all these different teams. Do you feel like you guys were kind of made for that moment? Because we see it in sports all the time, we watched it with pro sports, teams like the Hurricanes in hockey, the Knicks in basketball, where you got to fight through some of this adversity to get there. So your guys were not phased. They probably maybe not expected to be down 4-0, but they knew at some point they'd have to overcome some obstacles.
Oh, for sure. We knew we were getting, Mississippi State commit and knee neighbor and how tough he was. But we had also, the staff and I had put together what we felt like was a pretty tough schedule, even outside of the Southeastern District. playing Stab earlier in the year, the Miller School. We went down to South Carolina, played James Allen, who was a perennial power in South Carolina. And in all those games, they were close, and we hadn't quite got over the hump yet. But, the more we got towards the end of the year and towards the playoff, you could see they were a little bit different, that those trials and tribulations had maybe kind of set them up to know that they could get over the hump, and they have, confidence and faith in doing that. So, yeah, the schedule played a lot into that, I think.
Talking with Shaun Todd, head baseball coach of the VHSL Class 5 state champion Great Bridge Wildcats. They get it done over Glen Allen last week, 11-5 at 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV, Ed.
Hey, Shaun, congrats on that championship. Something we like to do here, I know my own personal feeling is, let's highlight your bio from the time you were in high school and if you played right on through any playing that you did, and then into your coaching all the way up into taking the Great Bridge position.
Well, fortunately, I played here at Great Bridge. I graduated in 1996. Played with unbelievable talent here when I was in high school. Went on to Christopher Newport, played my freshman year there, and then not very big, not very fast, not very strong, so that doesn't quite work out for a middle infielder. So after my freshman year, I kind of looked into coaching. Had some mentors that kind of got me into it, and was able to coach some really talented young players even when I was at a young age. Had the opportunity to go to Deep Creek High School for a couple of years and coach under Scott Hughes. That was a tremendous experience, especially for a young college kid. And then was unbelievably fortunate to have Coach Wiley Lee invite me on his staff here at Great Bridge. So I returned to here, my alma mater, in 2004, started teaching history and helping Coach Lee, and did that for 3 years until Grassfield High School opened. Tremendously fortunate to be given the opportunity to start that baseball program there at Grassfield. So did that for 7 years, and then started to get into where, I had family, and I had a stepson who became my stepson, and he started to take to baseball and other sports. So it kind of became the time to let him do his thing and help him on his journey. So I did that for a little while, kind of stepped away from the high school setting. Started teaching at Oscar Smith, teaching history there, and was fortunate to meet Josh Matheny, who came in as the head coach at Oscar Smith. And as my son started to get older and I started to have a little bit more time, he allowed me to kind of hang around at Smith for a little while and kind of got that itch. And then that kind of led into kind of a youth travel team that we did with my stepson. And fortunately, Michael Dyer and I have been friends since we were teammates here at Great Bridge. So him and I started coaching both of our sons, see his son, and then my stepson Ryder. They came up all the way through. So we did kind of the travel circuit, and then this Great Bridge opportunity opened up once my stepson got a little bit older. And I was fortunate enough, just right place at right time. I think it just kind of the stars aligned for me to come back home and get this opportunity to do this.
Very cool, Ed.
Yeah, I could say that's a pretty good travel around with some different coaches. Now, did Wiley coach you at Great Bridge?
He did not. I missed Coach Lee by 2 years. I was on Coach Oliver's last team, Coach Martin Oliver, who is longtime head baseball coach here at Great Bridge High School. So I graduated in 96. Wiley took over in 98. So I missed him as a player, but man, what he taught me as a coach and as a man was special.
Yeah, no doubt. And to do – go ahead, Ed.
No, I was just going to say definitely one of the legends in baseball coaching in the area, Wiley Lee. Now, did you have any influence with one of our greatest friends we've ever had, Tommy Townsend, who did a lot with the travel ball and kind of gets, along with Wiley, is ones that really got the 757 going in baseball?
I was extremely fortunate to go to all Coach Townsend and Lavelle's camps. That was one thing, man, I look forward to every single summer was going to Coach Townsend's camps and being in that environment and learning from him and Coach Lavelle. And when I was here at Great Bridge, of course, we played against Lake Taylor a number of times. So I was fortunate enough to be around Coach Townsend in those summer camp settings. Never played for him. But again, his son, Shaun, and I were here together with Coach Lee in the early 2000s. So I got to enjoy that experience as well. But Townie, man, yeah, another legend in our area in baseball. Matter of fact, we still do some of the drills at our youth camp that I learned at Coach Townsend and Coach Lavelle's camp a number of years ago.
Really cool. And the neat thing is it comes full circle. You played in that era for Martin Oliver, much like Wiley Lee, a really treasured person in athletics in the area, with the teammate Michael Kadire, who goes on to great things. And now his son, Casey, what does he go 3 for 4, a home run short of the cycle for you in the state championship game, and now he's going to North Carolina, which might win the national championship. My goodness, I mean, it's got to be you pinch yourself sometimes seeing what he does and then seeing these other guys in addition to him, because I know he's one of many that have really stepped up for you throughout the year.
Absolutely. Every time someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm living the dream, right? Like to be involved and just be around these types of players, coaches, as we mentioned before, and watch what Casey's been able to do along with a number of other Wildcats here has been truly special.
Highlight, if you can, for us, Coach, some guys in addition to Casey. We know about him being sort of one of the marquee names going to UNC as they compete with Oklahoma in this College World Series national championship game. But some others that are getting Division I attention for you, either signed, committed, and then those that will be coming back for you next year. Because as you all know, I always joke on the show with various coaching guests. I remember Joe Gibbs telling it on NFL Network, the minute he wins the Super Bowl in Washington, they say, hey, someone pulls the car, you better do it again next year. So I'm sure the great Rich fans are saying, all right, one's not enough. We want back-to-back, and you haven't even had a week to digest it all.
The senior class was, laden with talent. We had 8 seniors, 7 of them going on to play college baseball in some way, shape, or form. The 8th one certainly could have if he chose to go that route. But after that, we have a junior, Cole Cinnamon, who is going to be going to Clemson or is committed to Clemson. So he's got that ahead of him after his senior year here with us. We've got another junior that'll be coming back to us, Colin Boswell, who tremendous athlete, is going to take over in the catching position for us and probably has some opportunities at the next level as well. If you go down a little bit into our sophomore class, Brandon Hahn was a huge impact player for us this year. Played all over the infield and has got a bright future. Noah Yates, who we all call Lou, he's a sophomore right-handed arm that is probably going to get some opportunities as well at the next level. So, in this region and in the state of Virginia, it's hard to win just a region title, much less a state title. But we definitely have some talent coming back, and they've learned from a tremendous class of seniors of how to do it the right way and what it takes and how to stay the course.
Absolutely. And that Hahn kid he mentioned, Ed, 3 hits, 2 runs, and a ribby in that 11-5 win over Glen Allen in last week's Class 5 state championship. Shaun Todd, our guest here. A few minutes with him, the head coach of Great Bridge, the state champs here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Coach?
Excuse me, Coach, you talked a little bit about some of your players. How about the guys that are helping you out, some of your assistant coaches? We get names for them out here too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't get done without a staff, Coach. You know how that goes. I've got my stepson, and then I've got an 8-year-old. So you got to have, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It probably takes a couple villages to take care of a high school team. But Josh Matheny is probably the main guy. Like I said, I met him at Oscar Smith High School. He was a transplant from West Virginia, but just a tremendous baseball mind. A leader of men and builds wonderful relationships with our guys. So he's at the top of the list. And then we have some alumni as well. Eddie Perkins does our pitching here. He pitched for Coach Lee when I was here originally as Coach Lee's assistant. Josh Duncan takes care of our catchers. Another little bit younger guy is Ty Krantz. He heads up our JV team, and I was fortunate enough to coach him in the showcase circuit. We're fortunate enough to now have middle school baseball. So our middle school baseball, John Roberts, he's the head coach there. He's tied into our program as well. We kind of keep him coming along with our players. We try to do that to make it a nice transition. And then we added someone from Coach Matheny's time at Oscar Smith, a pitcher that played for him, Dylan Langston. So we got quite the staff. As much as we have talent on the field with players, we have an unbelievable amount of talent with the coaching staff as well. And like I said, there's no way we get this done without Josh Matheny.
Last one for me, Coach, and I'm sure Coach I might have a final one or two for you as well. I'm always fascinated by the journey, and for you all as coaches, was there a specific point either before the season, during the season? I know you guys went to South Carolina. I think you participated in the tournament there, regionals, playoffs, where you felt like, you know what, this team is capable of a championship, or even not even so much that, there was a turning point in your season where you felt your group elevated, was already good or got even better to great. Was there a point you look back on that was sort of a seminal moment for you?
Yeah, there's a number of them. And, we saw some resilience even in the losses that we had. And we had a tough one to Western Branch. Earlier in the year, we were up by a few runs and kind of slipped away from us because, obviously they're just so well coached and they have a tremendous amount of talent at Western Branch. But then after that, the way that they made some adjustments at practice, the practice is where we started to see some changes be made and some commitment to doing some things that we knew they could do and they were capable of doing. We just hadn't done them on a consistent basis, whether it was the pitching staff upping their strike percentage in the bullpens we were throwing during the week, or it was the way we were taking BP, the way the ball was getting off the bat. And then the intensity of our practices, especially towards the end, I won't say ramped up, but it just got a lot cleaner. Throws from the outfield were better, plays in the infield were better. The individual work they were doing really started to clean up, and the details started to get really good. And I would say we finished with Kempsville in the regular season, which was actually a makeup game. What was supposed to be our first game of the season got rained out and got pushed all the way to the end. And it was a big game for us because if we won, we finished in the 2 spot, which would keep us away from Cox into the finals. Obviously Cox is a perennial power in our area. And in that game, they kind of took control of that game right from pitch one and didn't look back. And at that point, we all kind of looked at each other the next day and was like, okay, this can go. This is what it's supposed to look like. If we can make it look like this for the next couple of weeks, we got a good chance.
That was a heck of a back-and-forth region championship game. I didn't get a chance to make it over there to Indian River High School when you played them, but I saw some of the highlights on TV. That was just a heck of a game with your squad and Cox in the region championship, and Great Bridge ends up winning Class 5, Ed.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I wanted to get into with Coach too. You kind of alluded to it at the beginning. This area is really good baseball. You mentioned Cox, your own program, just tremendous. That, some people will say, once you get out of here, it's a little easier, but that's not always true either. Of course, we say that about basketball in the 757, that it's harder here than it is going outside. But when you put your schedule together, this is something you take into consideration, knowing that the area is going to be that strong. Southeastern District itself, very strong. But when you're putting your schedule together and then you're looking at what you may possibly play regional, state level, how does that all work for you?
Oh, for sure. It's kind of, it's a balancing act because you want to have a tough schedule, especially kind of at the front end, I think. And because when you get in the Southeastern schedule, you kind of regimented in what you have to do. But at the beginning, if you can load it up at the beginning and challenge your guys, especially your pitching staff, that's what the goal is because, our area, I think in Class 5, we've had the past 3 state champs going back to First Colonial, then Ocean Lakes. And now we were able to do it. Western Branch is going to be in there every year as a 6. You go down the line to the 4s. They're very tough and have done a really good job. So what you're getting from the Southeastern District, but you can't make it too difficult because you want to solidify a spot in the playoffs that's not going to put you in the road or where you hopefully stay away from one of those perennial beach powers and Cox and FC, in the second round, which is the game that gets you to state. So you got to be mindful of all those things. Again, you got to kind of know your talent and what they're able to do. And with having 8 seniors, we felt pretty confident that we could give them that challenge at the beginning. And if it really didn't go our way, that we would be able to kind of push through and fight through our own schedule and get ourselves in a position to where, we had a home game, at least in the playoffs, if not 2. if you get 2 home games in the playoffs, then, it's up to you to take care of it from there.
Well, a heck of a job, and a salute to your kids, your staff for making it happen. The Great Bridge Wildcats outlasting that gauntlet, and they are VHSL Class 5 state champs. There they are on the screen, 2025, 2026. Can never take it away from you and your guys, Coach. Awesome job. Well done. We look forward to getting you back on the show, and enjoy the summer. I know you're going to be looking forward to those rings and the jackets and all the things that come with it, and those kids getting to celebrate that because it lives in history forever.
Absolutely. And I just thank you. Thank you for all that you do for all the local sports in our area, man. It's really good to highlight these young guys and these athletes and the coaches. Coach Ed, congratulations on all that you've accomplished. And I just truly appreciate you guys keeping youth sports and high school sports in our area at the forefront, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And having access from guys like yourself makes it all the easier for us, no doubt about it.
And I do remember this young cat right here. When I was coaching at Nancy, we played Great Bridge. Shaun was with a group of all the crazies, and yelling about Tech, throw him out. I remember him leading that. Now I remember.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny that. I might have had some hair back then. It might have been a little bit more difficult to recognize, but.
Yeah. Listen, we always enjoy that. We people can go to games and definitely heckle Ed. That's always a good thing. Well, hey, Coach, thank you so much. We look forward to chatting baseball with you and about your group coming back for next season down the road. And don't be a stranger. Hit us up anytime.
Again, thank you guys, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day to you all.
You too. Shaun Todd, head
enjoy
baseball.
Enjoy it, but let's get another one.
There you go.
That's the goal.
Head coach of the state champion Great Bridge Wildcats. He'll be doing this later this weekend. See this kid here with the popcorn? He'll be chowing down like this. I'm a state champ. Who does it better than that kid right there? Stick around. We've got more 757 Sports Talk on the way.
Before we go, Shaun, is it true the Yankees are your favorite major league team?
Oh, don't tell me they are.
The Yankees are my favorite major league.
Oh,
yes.
no.
Yes.
Got another one.
This guy's going to win number 2. Told you.
Oh, gosh. All these baseball coaches, and Phil Forbes, and all you guys. Oh, my gosh.
He's still hung up on that AAA team, the Snakebacks or whatever the heck they call it.
Don't make me play 2001 highlights, please. Game 7. Lugo.
Hey, but I also appreciate you recognizing my Michigan Wolverines, man. I'm a huge Wolverines fan.
You were talking about that earlier, yes. So you were into the championship and the Final Four run.
100%.
Good deal. That was my pick before this season. Ed wasn't a believer, but I'll like I did with the Knicks. I adopted you guys. We made him a believer. So, all right, Coach. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Shaun.
Shaun Todd, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. We got more on the way. Don't go anywhere, including James Johnson, new head coach at Ferrum, coming up in just a bit right here on 757 Sports Talk. You're watching on Cova Sports TV.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, What makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
For ESPN, he's in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, our good buddy and friend, Tim Kirchin. Tim, thanks for coming on the program. Before we dive into all the baseball, I have to know, it is Snowmageddon right now across the East Coast here. Have you hit the grocery store and gotten all your milk and eggs and bread, and are you preparing for what's to come?
Yes, I've been to the grocery store twice today. I am the most inefficient shopper ever. I go to the grocery store about 3 times every day anyway, because I'm so bad at figuring out what we need. I do all the cooking at home. I am terrible at it. We pray after we eat at my house. And yes, I have plenty of food in the refrigerator and in the pantry for however long we are trapped here. But the food is there. It just won't be any good because I will be making it.
Okay, well, just remember when all these bad things happen to blame my co-host, Coach Young, who has been doing this for almost 20 years now on our radio now turned podcast and television program, where he declares to our entire audience watching statewide in Virginia and beyond all over the country that we'll get no snow. And I've had a basketball tournament for 16 years, and 6 of them have had to be rescheduled or postponed. So when you lay your head down at night, say, that god-awful basketball coach from Tidewater in Virginia, who's a diehard Yankee fan, he's the one for all these problems.
And when I have no power tonight or tomorrow night, when the ice absolutely wrecks our house, I'm going to call you and you are going to provide heat to my house. Okay.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So the question is, did Tim call you and did you provide heat to his house when we had Snowmageddon back in, what was that, January, February, whenever we had him on then?
No, he was okay with the power came back on. I actually checked on him because I felt bad, because I can imagine Tim going to the store 3-4 times a day and forgetting what to get. And I like to think they're so backwards, they prayed after eating the food.
Well, I prayed for him after he had to deal with your nonsense because, you just whew. But we do thank Shaun Todd from Great Bridge coming on the program. He was a joy to talk with, and look forward to getting him on down the road again. Baseball state champs, couple of teams from the area. We mentioned it on last week's television portion of the show. We were in Springfield, but New Kent baseball, salute to them, winning Class 3 baseball, state championship there. And then Kellum boys and girls soccer doing the daily double. How about that? Really cool for both of them to get soccer state championships in the same calendar year. It's pretty rare that a school will have that. We think about it with boys and girls basketball, boys and girls volleyball, but boys and girls soccer winning state championships. Which we thought might have a possibility of happening because they both were pretty dominant throughout the year. So, and Great Bridge was really good throughout the year, but as he touched on, to get through that bracket, that gauntlet where you have, I think we talked about it, that 4-5 game was like you have Ocean Lakes. You had 2 or 3 recent state champs going out in the first round, basically, because that's how the bracket was when you have those brackets with First Colonial and Ocean Lakes and Great Bridge and Cox all in that same 5A field. So there you have it. Oh, look who's chiming in on the Facebook. Josh Kirby, our pal from the state tournament. Look at
Josh.
I don't know about me. Ed's the one that's got 500 plus wins. And by the way, real quickly, for those wondering, because I've had people ask me about this, including Dave Macedo last week at VA Live of Virginia Wesleyan University until it becomes Baton University in the next month. By the way, I think they're just going to keep Marlins on the shirts because they can't say BUM, right? Because then it'd be like bum if they had Baton University. They can't do that. They got to have just have Marlins. Don't do that. I'm just saying. But anyways, he asked me, hey, and I do my Macedo voice. Hey, Matt, was Ed the all-time wins leader now active in the state of Virginia? And I go, he might be, but it got me at 2 a.m. This is what I do, Josh, 2 a.m. looking it up. Ed is close. He's second right now among active coaches to my count in VHSL public school wins. The guy who's ahead of you is Brian Metris at Lake Braddock, who needs like 17, I think it is, this year to get to 600. But Craig Maynard at Albemarle retired. Billy Pope at Northside retired. Ed's still kicking. Great Knicks parade. That's right. You tell him, Super E. Dun. Hate on all these Law and Order haters like Ed Young and Lamar Barrett. Tell them to stick it in their pipe and smoke it. And speaking of the Knicks, did you see this real quickly, Edward, before we do go to break? Did you see the Leon Rose revelation about the championship? Or did you not see this with the Stone?
No.
Well, watch it. Take a look. Oh, it's not popping up on the screen. Let's try take 2. It'll pop up here in a moment, I sure hope, because this is good.
Just with everybody, Howie Roseman, general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, came tonight with his boys, and he gave me this gift, which is a piece of it's a piece of like slate from the city of David in ancient Jerusalem that he got when he was there, and it was given to him. He either got it or it was given to him in 2024, and he took it to the Super Bowl and he won the Super Bowl, and he gave it to me for good luck tonight.
Shit.
When tonight?
Before the game.
Before the game.
That's friggin' believable. Wow.
Let's go, Howie. Unbelievable.
That was the comeback from 29 down. He got the piece of slate from David, the city in Jerusalem. So if we can get you that piece of slate, maybe your Smithfield Packers can take it all next year, Ed. Find that piece of slate. Get it from Leon Rose, and you can go all the way like Roseman's Eagles and Rose's Knicks. Get that piece of slate, and you're in good shape.
Well, Josh Kirby again. Hats off to this. There's a youngster up and coming in the sports announcing, and he's a heck of a worker. He reminds me. I told him a young Matt Hatfield. He's a go-getter.
That could be
Trying
dangerous.
to get it. He's
You
not.
might say he's a better version of Matt Hatfield. Don't tell
Yeah,
him
he
he's
could
Matt
be,
Hatfield.
because
Scary.
one good thing about him, he's not poisoned with the pool stuff and all that. Hopefully that won't happen down the road.
Hey.
But
wrong with
Kirby's
being
a good
cool.
one. I'm going to see if I can get my illustrious AD, Mr. Doolin,
Okay.
to put it on his list to take a trip to Jerusalem and get me my own stone.
Take a trip to Jerusalem?
And I need.
Who's
I'm gonna
flipping
need-
the bill for that trip?
He'll find a way. Get a boulder. I'm going to need a boulder.
A boulder? You want a
That's what we
boulder?
have.
Not a piece of stone.
Yeah.
You want a boulder.
Yeah,
will you cart it with you to every Bay Rivers District gymnasium you go to next season, like Bruton and Tab and War Hill? Will you take it everywhere you go? A big boulder.
If it helps us win, I'd sleep with the doggone thing.
You'd sleep with it. Wow. So much for the dog or the lady. You're gonna sleep with a piece of slate or boulder. Unbelievable.
Hey, one of my wishes would be see Josh Kirby and Matt Hatfield do a football game together.
Yeah.
That would be.
That'd be
We
pretty
got to
good.
try to see if we can make that happen.
Well,
that would be good.
Maybe our next guest will help give you some good luck charmer pointers for your Smithfield Packers next year, because he's back on the sidelines from basketball. We talked about it. He was involved with football at Virginia Tech. He was once the head Hokie, but now he's back at his alma mater. We're talking about our good friend. We've known him from his days at George Mason, helping out Jim Larinaga 20 years ago in that magical Final Four run. None other than James Johnson will join us right after the break right here on Cova Sports TV and 757 Sports Talk. Yes, you missed Pool Man, but don't worry, Woody, it's coming up. And Derek says road trip. It's all coming up here. Were they watching, Edward?
One of the best places to be, Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and please subscribe.
Now this from those who help make it possible.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in a phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And back here on 757 Sports Talk, like, share, and subscribe. We have a special guest with us, Ed. We've known him for more than a couple decades now. He is the head basketball coach at his alma mater of Ferrum, where he was a 3-year starter, but he's coached all over the world, it feels like, in college basketball, was an assistant coach for many different places, head coach at Virginia Tech, and then got into football recruiting as director of high school relations at Virginia Tech back in 2023. Back to the hardwood, though, from the gridiron, we say hello and congrats on his new gig. James Johnson with us. Coach, long time no chat. Good to have you on the program. I know we've been efforting this for so many months. It feels like from your football journey to now, we finally found some time. How you feel?
I'm doing good, Matt. How you doing, man? Ed, how you doing, buddy?
JJ, man, it's good to see you. And thank God you put that crazy shaped football down, trying to dribble it and get back to where your strength is, that being on the basketball court.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Glad to be back, and glad to be back at doing it at my alma mater, having the chance to give back to the school and to the kids at this level at the school that gave me an opportunity as a player and as a coach.
Yeah, go back to those days before we even get into your coaching journey and odyssey and what brought you to the gridiron and back to the hardwood here. Take me to your memories at Ferrum, because when you played at Ferrum, it's not what it is now, and it's a transition here to Division II, so things have certainly been ascending, but take us back to those days, what your fondest memories were, and then what it did to help make and shape you and mold you as a young man and student athlete at that time.
Yeah, first of all, coming from a small town, Powhatan, county, Virginia, outside of Richmond, not a lot of people heard of that town. So when I got to Ferrum, I would say I'm from Powhatan. Nobody knew it, so I just started saying I'm from Richmond, and so they heard of Richmond. But a young guy, 6'2", 150-pound guy from Powhatan, go up to Ferrum College, and was there. They were the only school to recruit me. They gave me an opportunity and went there, and we struggled my first year. I think we won 18 games, and 8 games, and then my sophomore year we won 15 and 10, and then senior year we won the conference championship, junior year conference championship, regular season, and the conference tournament champion. Won a game in the NCAA tournament, got knocked out in the second round, and then senior year we were regular season champions and got upset down at Christopher Newport by North Carolina Wesleyan. So, and then they gave me an opportunity to be the assistant coach at 21 years old. I just finished playing, coached the team, went back in August. It was one of those 10-month deals. So I went back in August, started coaching. We won a championship there. So stayed 2 years as assistant coach at Ferrum, and then the rest is history. College coaching career took off, but I owe everything to Ferrum, letting me come to school there, let me be on the basketball team, and had a great career there as a player and a coach.
Class of 1993, and then inducted in the Ferrum Hall of Fame in 2009. What did that mean to you?
Well, that was one of the special moments that basketball has afforded me. Being inducted to any Hall of Fame was never on my agenda, but I'm blessed and fortunate to go into the Hall of Fame at Ferrum with some really, really, really good names. I mean, you're talking about, Ed George, Steve Robinson, Chris Warren, Billy Wagner, Eric Owens, Hank Norton. I mean, you're talking about some really high, powerful names that people that really know sports in the state of Virginia would recognize. So I'm blessed to go into to the Hall of Fame at Ferrum with such guys like that.
Homegrown guy from the Commonwealth of VA, James Johnson, back at his alma mater, the Hall of Famer from Ferrum College, leading the program coming up here in 26-27. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Ed.
Well, James, one of the big things in front of my mind in asking you is Ferrum has taken the leap from Division III to Division II. Now, was that last year or this year? You're going into it. Tell us about how that situation is, and let our listeners know the basic difference between Division II, Division III.
Yeah, so we will be competing in our second year of Division II. We're still making the transition. Our administration is doing an unbelievable job on the transition and all the different things that come with that, as far as the different rules, regulations that are from the Division III to Division II. That is one of the reasons why I took the job. President Martin, our president, has a vision for the college, has a vision for athletics as we move forward in the transition in Division II, and I'm excited about that. But we will be in year 2 of that transition period. They did a very good job. Pat, the former coach, did a very good job in the first season as Division II in the conference. You had the number 3 seed in the conference tournament. So I'm looking forward to building on that, as we move forward in Division II. And Ed, the second part of your question was the difference in Division III and Division II. Division III is non-scholarship. Kids have to come to school, put together packages as far as loans, pay their own way. And then in Division II, you can offer scholarships. The maximum level of scholarships is 10 scholarships at the Division II level. Division I is 13. Maybe it's moved up to 15 now, but those are the major differences. And then you have different rules as far as Division III and Division II, as far as contact period, what you can do on unofficial and official visits, when you can be out recruiting, what times of the year, and that type thing. There's a lot of different, recruiting rules that go into place also.
I'm curious, and Ed, I'm sure we'll piggyback off of this, James, is that with all the things that have transpired in intercollegiate athletics in the last few years, I guess you could say post-COVID here with NIL and the transfer portal, and you being on both sides of it, being a Division I men's basketball coach, a head coach and assistant coach, but also stepping your toe into football. How have those experiences helped you for what's ahead? Because it feels like there's fewer high school kids being recruited by whether it be in-state, out-of-state schools, Division I, II, or III, because a lot of them are recruiting college kids, the transfers, but things have changed from when you started to now. Do you feel like it might give you a little bit of an advantage because you've seen it from different sides?
Well, I think as throughout the years, a lot of things have changed since I started coaching. So, as a coach, whether you're a head coach or assistant coach, you got to be able to adapt to all the changes that go on in the sport. I remember when I started, there was the Prop 48 rule when, if you didn't have a certain GPA, or a certain test score to match the GPA, you weren't allowed to play. You had to sit out, all the way up until now where there's no SAT. You don't even have to take the SAT to qualify. So I think being able to change, evolutionize with the changes in college athletics and college basketball, you got to be able to do that. And being at all the places I've been, and even stepping over to the football side, I learned a lot with the football stuff, the NIL stuff, dealing with that many players, being on a staff that big. Just learned a lot that would help, one, prepare me to be a head coach again, and just help prepare me for the changes that are happening in college athletics now.
Chat with James Johnson, head basketball coach at Ferrum, where he's a Hall of Famer from the class of 2009, the Hall of Fame, class of 93 member. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV, hired back on May the 12th as Ferrum looks to make some noise at Division II ranks. Ed?
James, we're going to definitely going to get into talking about your players and all that here soon. But again, being that we have you Division II, and we're so used to having Division I people, and we see in the news a lot of the Division I stuff with NIL and revenue sharing money. How does, I'm going to guess that at your level, NIL money is either extremely little or zero, and revenue sharing is not really at that level. Correct me if I'm wrong, and how do those things come into the Division II situation?
Well, you're correct on the revenue share part. The revenue share is not in play right now at the Division II level. The NIL is becoming in play at the Division II level. It is, certain conferences, certain schools have a limited amount of NIL money that they can play around and move around with. There's certain things that we're trying to do, at Ferrum to negotiate through that, whether it be, having some sponsorship for some meals for kids and their families, that type of thing. But that is, the NIL is coming to play at the Division II level, slowly but surely. Revenue share is not there yet. I anticipate that being a little bit ways off. But NIL is closer than what we probably want it to be right now at Division II.
Sure. Makes sense.
And I had said earlier, we talked about some football kids committing. We had a state kid from LC Burrs going to go to LSU, and he, Ohio State was on the list. And we thought, we thought that maybe he would go to Ohio State, but we both made a comment. Well, wait a minute. I think LSU outbids everybody in terms of money. In your mindset, you've been around the game close, Division I close, all your friends up here. Are we in a period right now where basically kids are just, families are saying, how much money am I getting, as opposed to what major? Is there a tutoring service on campus? Blah, blah. Is it pretty much money? Or are we pretty much on? Or are we just laughing about the situation?
Well, no, I think you're spot on with that, but I think part of it too is there's still some of the recruiting stuff that goes into play. The relationship part is big. If you get in and you're involved with the kid early, you can develop a deep relationship with the kid, and they may, that may be the difference in $100,000 difference when you start talking about the difference in $500,000 and up. I think the major and the relationship stuff probably does go out the window. So I do think that the kids are and the family, their support group, the money, the number comes in. That's probably the biggest thing right now.
How about for you now at Ferrum? Give us sort of your vision and philosophy of how you're going to get this thing to a higher level. I'm sure that's the big goal for you here, and it does take some time, but what are the things that you're going to really emphasize with the guys on the court, and what are the things that you're doing off the court as you try to build this, your own home into one of the premier programs, Division II? Because we've had some good D2 programs in the state, but we hear, it's funny, we've had this conversation before, more about some of the Division III programs that have won championships, like Mary Washington this year, Virginia Wesleyan, Randolph-Macon. While certainly Virginia State, with Lonnie Blue at the helm there, and Virginia Union, Emory-Henry have been some Division II programs that have had success at times. You hear more about some of the Division III programs. I'm sure you're going to try to put Ferrum on the map here sooner than later.
Well, Virginia, and I have grown up in Virginia, coached in Virginia a long time, at a few different places. Virginia is strong with athletics, period, and basketball has a rich tradition in basketball. The 757 area, the 804, the Richmond area, Northern Virginia area. So we have a rich tradition in Virginia for basketball. And one of the things when you mentioned all those schools and the success that they've had, they've been able to do some recruiting in the state. A lot of the recruiting in the state. And that's one of the things I want to do. I want to come in and kind of try to put a fence around Virginia. Talking to my staff about concentrating on the in-state recruiting and trying to keep a lot of our players in the state. And to do that, we got to recruit the high schools. We got to recruit the AAU teams in the state. And I do believe with the way the transfer portal is and a lot of the Division I schools, whether it's the low majors, the mid majors, they're all looking at the transfer portal and they want the guy from the ACC to move down a level or the guy that's, in the A-10 to move down a level. And high school recruiting has kind of slipped a little bit. And we kind of want, talking to my staff, we kind of want to get on a lot of those high school players that might be falling through the cracks that are maybe, can play a level of Division I basketball and try to get them at Ferrum so they can have a successful career on and off the court, at Ferrum, which I do believe there's a lot of kids out there that can play at this level that could probably play a little higher, but because of the transfer portal, they're getting a little bit overlooked. As far as what we plan on doing, my vision, I want guys that are low maintenance, high production guys that we don't have to worry about them in the classroom. We don't have to worry about them out in the community, on campus. We don't have to worry about them, on the court. We want to make better young men, better students, and better basketball players, be an extension of their parents and help them through this, 18 to 22, 23-year-old time period where they're becoming, kids to young adults. And we want to be a part of that and have a great experience on the floor. And having a great experience is, part of that is winning too. But a lot goes into that. And that's what me and my staff will be here for those kids to help them through that part of, their lives. We'll play an aggressive style of basketball on the offensive end and the defensive end. To do that, we're going to try to be deep, try to play a lot of guys, but that's going to be up to what the guys do in practice and in workouts to show us what they can do and earn the opportunity to be on the floor.
Awesome. A couple more minutes here with James Johnson, new men's basketball coach at Ferrum, here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. And I'm not just saying this because he's on the program, but it sounds like a guy who gets it, Ed, because he's been all over the Commonwealth, Old Dominion, Longwood, George Mason, of course, part of that infamous Final Four run in 2006, Virginia Tech, and I'm sure has plenty of stories from working with guys like Seth Greenberg and Jim Larinaga and Kevin Keats here, our guest on the program. Coach Young?
Well, now we get into a roster, James, in terms of what I know this is a time of year where kids just as soon as the year's over, they're jumping all over the place. Were you able to maintain most of the roster? Was it a complete overhaul? And of course, what we'd like to know is Virginia kids. I know you're probably not allowed to talk a lot about maybe guys that you're recruiting or whatever based on NCAA rules or whatever, but the roster as it is right now is completed, and then your Virginia flavor, especially any from 757?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ed. We were depleted, coming in. I think we had two guys that coming back that actually received any minutes. They were backup guys last year, but they did receive some minutes on Pat's team. So we got two of those guys coming back, and then we're trying to fill the roster with the rest of the roster. We have, since taking over the job in May, we've been able to get a few kids. They're coming from all different places, high school, JUCO, 4-year college transfers. So we've been able to, put a few pieces together, and we still have probably 3 or 4 roster spots to build out. And we're definitely recruiting, Virginia kids. We're definitely recruiting, some 757 kids, some Richmond area kids throughout the entire state. So we're trying to put that together. It's shaping up to be get there pretty good, slowly but surely. Hey, one of the things that I talked with the staff about and is important to me, that we don't rush this process. I want to make sure that we bring the right people in the locker room first, as opposed to the players on the floor. Building a culture, building the locker room up first is important to me, and to get the total package, good kids, good students, and good basketball players is important to me. So we're taking our time, making sure we get the right kid, the right player for our team, the right person for our campus and the community, and the right student for Ferrum College.
Perfect. Well, hey, we look forward to how you build this thing there at your alma mater of Ferrum, and hopefully you'll get a chance to have one of those parades like the Knicks just had, right? That'd be pretty cool.
If we could do that, yes, indeed, that'd be special. That's, I was talking to somebody. I don't remember any team having that big of a parade or that much energy after the championship. Obviously, Miami is a hot spot, but I don't remember even Miami with LeBron and D Wade and all those guys after that. New York is really living it up. So if we could have half that, have the success that they've had, and have half the fun and enjoyment, and let the Ferrum community enjoy that would be unbelievable.
Well, I did mention earlier you were part of that 2006 Final Four run with Coach Larinaga, that group you had with Jai Lewis and Falarian Campbell, Will Thomas, Tony Skin, Lamar Butler. A lot of people didn't want you guys in the tournament. You went to the Final Four with that group and knocked off Connecticut. So if you have any type of party like one you had in Fairfax back then at Ferrum, you'll be smiling from ear to ear for a long time.
Yeah, that was kind of special. I would like to go through that at Ferrum. That was nice. Yeah,
for sure. Well, have a great summer. I'm sure we'll be in touch, and all the best. If you do have a parade like that, just make sure Ed and I get invited to the float, all right?
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. Ed, it's great to see you, man. I remember recruiting your guys over at Nasman, Big Nick. I remember recruiting those guys. You've had a successful career, man. Appreciate everything you've done for these young men. Matt, appreciate you having me on, and what you guys are doing on this platform is great for basketball. It's great for the athletics, the high school athletics, college athletics. So appreciate everything you guys are doing, man. Anytime you want me or my staff members on, just let us know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate that.
James, are you going to be at East Coast Live?
I am. It depends on how I finish out filling this staff. I'm looking forward to getting up there. Gotta work on some staff stuff this week, but I am planning on being up there for East Coast Live. Yes, sir.
Have you hired anybody out on staff?
Yes.
Are you at liberty to mention their names?
I'm not at liberty, but I have hired and got one more position, and we'll be done.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, this dude over here, man, there's a guy to put on staff. He ain't gonna give you X and O stuff, but I tell you what, he knows every damn player in the state, and he's
trying to get rid of me, James. He's trying to get rid of me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Would be
I'm sure if Matt wanted to get into this craziness here, he's had plenty of opportunities there to do that. But if you want to get rid of him, we can talk about trying to make something happen, Ed.
Well, James, always a pleasure. You enjoy the rest of the summer. I'm sure we'll bump into you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate
All
you.
right, see you, JJ.
Bye.
James Johnson, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. Another timeout. We got more coming your way here on this edition of Cova Sports TV. We'll see if I can get rid of Ed. I'm going to get in the pool. Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's a Saturday in June.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about out of here. I've had it with this pool and the full stuff. I'm out of here.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are 30,000?
You're still talking? I'm sorry. We hit the trigger on it. Go ahead. You still talking? You done? Is he waving by? I'm out of here. He says, he's gone. He said adios. He muted himself. He's gone, ladies and germs. He said adios. Here's a commercial. He's out of here. See you later. We'll finish up the show without him.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
I found something that was in reference to Coach Young down in Pensacola. Free ride in a police car if you shoplift from this store. Compliments of your police department. They found you and they made the sign.
I ain't never in my life shoplifted from a store. Okay?
I don't know about that.
Except when I was 7 years old.
Hey, you said never. When you doesn't count your 7 years old.
See, I'm through. I'm very how they say transparent. 7 years old. Nobody was looking. I was hungry. I took a candy bar from 7-Eleven. And those of you that have never, those of you out there that have never taken a candy bar from anywhere, okay, chime in and let me know so I can see who the liars are. Now, I was so distraught, raised the way I was by my parents, I turned around to walk back to the 7-Eleven to give them the candy bar, knowing I'd be in trouble. And I know at home I was going to get it. But I ate the damn thing before I got all the way back, put the paper in the trash can, and ran home. And every police car siren I heard, I thought was after me. And I was hiding behind trees and fences on the way home because I thought, I'm going to jail. Somebody saw me. I'm going to jail. I made penance for that. And a lot of times now when I go to 7-Eleven, as old as I am, and I'm supposed to get 6-7 cents in change from money, I always tell them, nah, hold it up. Maybe down the road I'll need it. So I'm trying to pay that candy bar, which I probably paid it back tenfold over since. It's just because that's the way I was raised.
I am so disappointed in you. So disappointed in you.
I know people stolen more worse than that and should be in jail and weren't. I don't mention no names, but
you are supposed to be teaching and coaching our youth and setting an example. And instead, you're doing things like that. It's terrible.
One time, 7 years old. I don't say it was right.
This cheesecake is good if you heard me say it already. Oh my
And
God.
we're trying to do a professional show here. This dude's got stuff all over his face. It's
great.
while he's eating.
Oh.
This people, Jim Heath, if you're still with us, what I tell you, 2 chapters of the book on Hatfield alone.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And as we put the finishing touches on this episode of the program, it was part of our Best of the 757 Sports Talk. We had some of that last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the show. If you miss us on Saturdays, you can always catch us on the telly through Cox and Yearview. But as we say goodbye, and Coach Young has to get rolling, folks. Oh, there he is. Wait. That's his long-lost brother. You've got a friend in me, Randy Newman. Oh, look at that from Met Suffolk High days. It's time to do our...
Look at the hairdo on that dude.
Gosh,
right.
People always ask. They say, like Josh Kirby says, why is it evil basketball coach? Well, it's like you stealing is why. We say good morning to Lynn Burke out there. He's the real legend, and I hope Lynn's feeling better. I know he had a little stay in the hospital, but before we bid adieu, we're going to play part of this today and then another part of it next week. Something called Parlay Palooza, where free shekels fell out of the sky. $5. You know who likes to say, give us $5 and a soda? Our buddy Daryl. If people don't know who Daryl is. Going back to Portsmouth and Suffolk, Young.
You got it.
$5 and a soda is one of Daryl's favorite things. That big gulp he always gets from 7-Eleven. So $5 for each of you. And by the way, if one of these hits, we got to buy Daryl $5 and a soda. More than $5 and a soda. But here it is. Just some funds for those that do this for entertainment purposes only. Here is Ed Young's Parlay Palooza, ladies and gents. Tell the audience your $5 Palooza. It's right there on the screen and how much it wins.
Well, I've got the Bills, as you can see. Bills win the AFC, Rams NFC, Rays the American League, Braves win the National League, Texas wins the college football championship.
A lot of faith in Arch Manning, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, now with the help of Myles Garrett. I don't know if I trust that back into the bullpen for the Braves with Suarez, who came over from the Padres, and Iglesias. They tried to blow it last night against the Brewers. But they have the best record. Well, no, they don't. The Dodgers now do. One of those is not going to hit, I don't think. You'll see mine next week, ladies and gents.
Hold on. I got to make a change.
You're going to make a change? What are you doing this for? You're going to make a change. It's already in. We already sent it into Nunzio and Vinny.
All right. Put another $5 and take the Rays out and put the Mariners in the American.
Who are you going to say? You're like mooing over there. Mariners.
Yeah, Rays are going south quick.
All right. Well, you got to give me $5 when I see you next time.
All right.
I'm all out of shekels. But that's going to conclude this particular episode of 757 Sports Talk. We hope you had as much fun as Ed and I did. We thank our guests, including Shaun Todd of Great Bridge Baseball and James Johnson of Ferrum Basketball. And we'll be up at East Coast Live next week in Richmond. Have a great Father's Day weekend, Ed, and all those kids that call you Daddy Young, make sure they take care of you this weekend, Edward.
No, I have no children of my own.
Not what I've heard.
And the ones that I have helped over the years, it was a pleasure working with them. And most of them have grown and moved on, and now they have their own kids. So now they can see what those youngsters are going to cause them.
We'll bring in Maury Povich to say, you are the father.
No, sir. I have watched myself in that situation.
Oh, I bet. Have a great week, everybody, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We'll catch you next time right here on Cova Sports TV.